Welcome to HB RV Lifestyle, the podcast. I am the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as other things. Today is sort of a sad day. My sources asked me in a very polite way to take down the last episode I did. So there's going to be rumors out there that I was forced, that I was paid off. You know how all that stuff goes. And that's to be expected. But I really did it out of respect to my sources. Now I know at the end of the day I'm going to lose communication with them for a while. So for the time being and the near future, I'm not going to have the insider information that I have been getting. At least until things cool down on their end. And no, they're not mad at me. They're not pissed at me. They're not anything. It's just time to kind of let things cool off. Okay, now I'm still going to do the podcast. But we're just going to change things up a little bit. We're going to go back to the original focus of the podcast, which was the customer. Okay? Now, what I will tell you about my sources is they informed me, for me, late last night, into their early morning, that there will be corporate RV YouTubers out there. Let me rephrase that. Corporate RV dealership YouTubers out there that will try to discredit any information I gave you, probably call me things that are not flattering, and that's fine. More than likely those folks are, I would say, possibly contractually obligated to do that. But at the end of the day, I am a very, very small fish. And from the beginning of this quest, my interest was, and will always be the customers. Especially because the backbone of the RV business and the RV lifestyle is not the dealerships. It's not the factories. It's not the YouTubers. It's the customers. It's you, the RVers. You're the backbone of this industry. Without you, there is no industry. Now, I've always felt that customers should be well informed about what they're getting into. They should know about the deteriorating relationships between some manufacturers and dealerships. They should know about frame flex, frame failure, without corporate RV dealership YouTubers trying to help, quote unquote, ignore it or put it on the customers or come up with radical numbers that don't make sense. They should have an understanding that RVs are earthquakes on wheels. They're not built perfectly. None of them are. From the Coleman 17B all the way up to the mobile suites, all the way up to a Tiffin Allegro bus. Nothing is built perfectly. Information is power. It should be available. Let's take a look at history when it comes to certain things. Like, for example, Keystone RV sells to Thor Industries in 2001. Just under 5 years after inception, roughly. Grand Design sells to Winnebago in 2016, after a little less than 4 years after inception. So why is it so far-fetched that they would not do the same thing with Brinkley RV? Why is it so critical to have this much damage control over a very small fish like myself? Let's be realistic. I don't have a large following. Let's be realistic. I don't have the greatest personality. I'm kind of a dick. Not everybody can handle how I deal with things and how I say things. I don't understand how half the people buy from me. I really don't. And I don't care who I piss off. Let's make sure that that's clear. I don't care if I piss somebody off that's at the upper echelon of the RV industry. I could care less. Blacklist me. Go ahead. That's going to look good. I mean, let's be real about it. RV financing should be explained properly so folks can make better decisions, so they can prepare better rather than shooting in the dark. This podcast will always be about sharing information that is gathered, letting the customer, the backbone of the industry, make their own decisions and their own conclusions. Allowing them not to see just the, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. Oh my God, it's so innovative. Oh my God, it's so incredible. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen side of things. And you know what I'm talking about when I say that. And it's not just one person, it's like 12 or 15 people that do that. They also need to know that the Armageddon level of problems in the industry is not on every brand, every single factory. It's not on every model. It's not with every manufacturer. And everything is not solely on Lippert. For example, I get a lot of folks that, oh, I'm staying away from Grand Design travel trailers because of frame problems. I've never said that. I've given my opinion about if you go buy a Grand Design product with all the problems that they are allegedly going through and all the allegations of customers that are making claims of how Grand Design is treating them, then you're a part of the problem. That is an opinion. But Grand Design travel trailers have so far not been affected with the frame failure problem at a dramatic level. I've heard of maybe 2. Remember that there are going to be problems with an RV. It is an earthquake on wheels, like I said earlier. Not if there will be problems, but when. And the best thing to do is to prepare people, to arm them with information so they know what to look for. Am I jealous? Sure. There's one product I am extremely jealous that I have never had the pleasure of selling. And that's Arctic Fox. I've sold used ones. And they're hell expensive, but they're absolutely amazing. They have a great story. They have a great pitch. And yes, I'm jealous that I don't get to sell those. Am I jealous of any other brand? Sometimes I get jealous about not being able to sell Alliance products, but that's my own personal thing because I used to sell Heartland, Bighorn, Big Country, Landmark, and Cyclone back when they were amazing products. They were ugly as hell, but they were amazing products. So sometimes I have that little jealousy bug about Alliance. But I'm jealous I don't get to sell Rockwood or Grand Design or Brinkley or Newmar or Winnebago. No, I'm not. Everybody has their problems. No one is perfect. But I'll tell you, at the end of the day, the RVs, especially in this market, that I like to sell the most are used. And that's the majority of what I sell. The majority of what I sell is used RVs. Because of high interest rates, because of all the price gouging that was going on the vending side of the factory. We're not talking about just the factory. We're talking about the suppliers. Their greed during COVID that sent wholesale pricing through the roof with all the inflation, all the crap. I like selling used because it is more affordable than new, and it gives more folks, especially with the economy the way it is, a chance to enjoy the lifestyle that I've been selling for more than a decade. I am not on this podcast to slander anyone or punish people. I have a unique personality. It's not that unique, it's more narcissistic than anything. But I'm here for the customers. And you know what the good news is? I get to make a little ad revenue from YouTube. That's right. I get to make a little bit of money. I got to make a whopping $242 last month from YouTube on the podcast. I made a whopping 46 cents on other platforms total combined. And more than likely, because of my narcissistic personality, because of my weirdness, I'll never get the brand deals. I'll never get to sign a contract with a big RV dealership, corporate RV dealership, and get paid an absorbent amount of money. That'll never happen for me. And that's okay. I mean, I make jokes about the free stuff that I get, like the cooler and the shoes. That's always cool. But I'm never going to be a millionaire doing this. I'm never going to get 250,000 followers. I'm never going to get to 1 million subscribers. It's never going to happen. It's not in the cards for me. And that's not why I'm here. I'm here to educate you. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I knew of a brand, even though this isn't true yet that I know of, but let's just say a brand I sell is going out of business. I'll tell people. When Attitude Toy Haulers, which I sell by the way, was going through financial problems and was having massive issues, I told you about it. Knowing that some of you will still buy the product. But at least you know. It's not fair to withhold information from customers. It's not fair to the customers because they're the ones that are left holding the bag. And if you're a big corporate RV dealership YouTuber and you don't see that, then you should look in the mirror before you start talking crap about a guy like me that has almost zero following. It's just like these allegations about Facebook posts being removed. It's like all this information out there about people being bought out of their rigs as long as they remove their YouTube channel or their YouTube videos. Why? To hide something? When you get bought out of a product, car, RV, boat, whatever, non-disclosure agreements are normal. They're standard ones. Can't disclose how much you got bought out for. Can't disclose the VIN number. Can't disclose the problem with the insurance company. Standard stuff. But to say the words or make customers feel like issues are their problem, not the factory's, number one. Number two, and this goes for every factory. This isn't specified at one manufacturer. This goes for everybody. If you are making people take down their social media posts about anything to do with a major level problem, aka frame flex / frame failure, and you're making them sign a non-disclosure agreement to fix the unit, if that's all true, if all those allegations are true, shame on every corporate RV dealership YouTuber who is downplaying this. Shame on the dealerships, and shame on the factories. And lastly, as much as I don't want to bag on guys, shame on the salespeople for not giving people the information so they can make an informed decision. And let me give you a great example, guys. This is the last thing I'm going to say on it, okay? I had a guy who came by to fill up propane. He is a subscriber to the YouTube channel, this podcast. And we had a great 2-hour conversation. He just bought a brand new 2023 Solitude. And he came up, shook my hand, and thanked me. He said, you know what? I know about the frame failure. I know about frame flex. We know what to watch out for. We know who to call. We know what to say. We know who to contact if we need any help. My wife was in love with this unit. There was nothing we could find that was equivalent to the floor plan we wanted, because we're going full time. And at least we know what we're getting ourselves into. And we appreciate you. Says you're the only guy on the internet that gave it to us right, that doesn't feel like they're a salesperson. So even though I've lost my sources for a while, and I don't blame them, guys. Don't get mad at them. Don't bash them in the comment section. Nothing of that nature. Okay? I won't ever disclose them. I won't ever tell you how I met them. I can tell you that they've never steered me wrong. And I respect the hell out of them. And they will disappear for a while, and hopefully they come back after everything cools down. Until then, we're going to go back to the origins of the podcast. We're going to go back to talking about parts, upgrades, financing RVs, recalls, financials, announcements. We're going to go back to that stuff. And we are going to keep talking about frame failure and frame flex on this podcast. It may not be through insiders anymore, but it will be from you, the customer's perspective. And to you, the RV dealership corporate YouTubers, if you really think I care about what you think or what you say about me, you're dead wrong. all it's going to do is the more I hear that you talk crap, the more it's going to motivate me. Until next time, have a good one.